So it's a in the soul. So prove you wait, they're off war. Is we run the school as the sad and if so the cat try here in it. So it's a in the soul. So prove you wait, they're off war. So this is like my service in the so where's the so do I.
Hello and welcome to the debut episode of the Ghoulish Treehouse of Horror series. It's a monthly series with myself, Max BOOOoooth, and
Andrew HELLbent.
All right. See, we changed the names up because that's what they do in the Treehouse of Horror show. So we're adapting to what they've created.
Well,
oh, please go ahead.
No.
Yeah,
I was just trying to haunt your intro. I'm sorry.
Haunt like a ghost.
Like a ghost, yeah.
All right, your face is really red right now.
Is it?
Yeah, man, you've been out in the sun, haven't you?
Because I'm drunk. It does look red, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Looks like he was standing next to a jet before it took off.
Yeah, maybe I'm dead.
I am dead. So we do need to face the elephant in the room. I guess is what you would say. I am indeed dead. The last time you and I talked, I was killed, and you did me the favor of reanimating me. You brought me back to life by blowing into my penis, I think is what happened. Is that
first I sucked a little bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what to do.
Yeah.
But then you told me to blow. Oh, that's what they mean when this.
I told you nothing. You were reading an article you found online about how to revive a goldfish.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And you just assumed it would do it, and it did. It brought me back to life, and I'm now undead. I'm haunting the planet as a ghoul. I'm not sure what to do with my undead life now. My unlife. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, I thought, I haven't talked to you in a while since you brought me back to life. We should reconnect. Why not go back, watch all of the Treehouse of Horror episodes of The Simpsons once a month and do an episode about it? Because for those who don't know, you and I and several other folks who are not present at the moment used to do a Simpsons podcast.
Yeah, we did. We shot Mr. Burns.
And that podcast is now defunct.
Yeah, as everything I touch eventually does, it is dead. And I could not blow on its dick to get it back to life.
But the thing is, when you touch something that is already dead, it comes back to life. So it goes both ways.
We are made brand new.
Yeah. What do you think the previous co-hosts of the Edel podcast will think once this episode goes live?
I think we're gonna have to do some explaining to Miguel.
Are they gonna be offended? They might be.
Yeah, well, we can just we'll add them on.
No.
Miguel, if you're listening, this episode cannot be 4 hours long.
No, we both have to get to sleep at some point tonight.
Right. Yes.
Right. Now, before we go on and talk about The Simpsons, I do have to ask you, you just came back from a really exciting event. I want you to tell me about this.
Yeah. Well, almost every year I host a card game called Cards Against Humanity for the Texas Book Fest. And, normally it takes place in a bar. Normally no one's masked. Normally we're, it's a little more rowdy. This time it was outdoors in a big amphitheater when the audience was, miles away from, not miles, but they were very far away from me. And there's bright lights shining in my face. So I couldn't see anybody, couldn't feed off the crowd. It was just awkward. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't make fun of anybody. So a couple authors dropped out because they're afraid of COVID, which is understandable. I get it. It was an outdoor event though. I don't know if they were afraid of COVID. That there's things that were going on, like one got sick and whatever. It's an awkward time to be alive. So I invited John Baltisberg, who doesn't care about covering his face or his feet ever. I knew he'd be down to be outside and fuck around. So I invited him. And basically we just spent a very awkward hour looking into a quickly dwindling audience as we spoke. But yeah, it was fun. I got paid and drank a beer. So
just one?
Yeah, drink a beers.
Now you mentioned this game, Cards Against Humanity. Is this something you invented?
Yes, I did. I invented it. It's
Wow.
a great game. When you draw cards, it's just offensive things, but they
Like what?
It gets into racial politics.
Go on.
And gender politics. Basically hits all the third rails of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically whenever they have no control over this, they just have to play these cards, and whenever someone plays a card, I just tell them, get out of here, leave now.
Yeah,
you've offended everybody, and leave. That's my job as a host.
Yeah, you bounce them.
I bounce them. I say, I grab them by the ear, and then I fucking throw them over my goddamn fucking shoulder and make sure something's broken.
Do you take a photo and also post it on social media saying, unfollow this human being?
That is how I live my life on social media. If you say something I don't agree with, I'm going to say unfollow this person. And if you don't unfollow him, maybe you should unfollow me. And then I figure out later I want them to be on my podcast. So I have to tag them. I realize, I blocked them. So I got to unblock them, follow them 5 times in a row, make sure they see that I'm apologizing. And yeah, that's the way it goes. It's a very nutty way to live. I
agree. Anyway, I haven't done anything as exciting today besides just cleaning out like 10% of all the books I own and deciding to sell them. Got $122, man. Not too bad. Half price books. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with all those books.
Well, I noticed in your picture you had a lot of Stephen King books, and I feel like those are very easy to sell for them.
That was like the least amount of books. Like one box was Stephen King. The rest will not.
Yeah.
We decided to cleanse the duplicates of Stephen King because we had lots of duplicates when we used to do that podcast. It would help that we would both be reading the same book.
Right.
And now we don't do that. So we just fucking put all those in a box and took them on with me.
So why did you end Castle Rock Radio?
It's too difficult.
Yeah. You guys just read too much? You just don't like reading?
I just like reading.
Yeah. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, but just schedule wise, I mean, she got a job in the evenings and I was working a night shift. We never had a lot of time to record and also read. It took a lot of research. We had to fucking read those things, and I was taking like fucking 10,000 word notes on every book we would do. It was not great. And plus it just became not fun. Like Stephen King used to be like my favorite writer. But that podcast was comedic in nature, and it required me to like to find things to poke fun at him with. I just stopped liking him at some point. Just was no longer fun. So now we're gonna do that with the Simpsons. I assume we're just gonna end up hating the Simpsons at some point.
Yeah, I already hate the Simpsons.
Oh
no, I'm just kidding. I fucking love it. I don't know that I'll ever just. You and I are one of the rare people who still find good things in the new episodes as well.
Yeah, I watch it every week.
Yeah. So I think if we can go this far, I think it'd be pretty hard for us to hate it.
I think we've done a good thing by deciding only to talk about the Treehouse of Horror episodes too, because the majority of those were pretty good until like, I don't know, I guess the newest seasons. Well, once they decide to stop doing segments based on the horror genre, that's when it gets bad, because at some point they decide just to like spoof anything that's popular. Like they do like a lot of fantasy YA books, and it's no longer the same to me.
And then I think it was season 20 where they started doing those kind of anthology-esque episodes where they'd have, segments that were self-contained stories, which I like. The Looney, I honestly, I think The Simpsons would do well for itself if they did more of like a Looney Tunes kind of thing, where they'd have shorter stories. But they do that. But recently I read that they actually have a Halloween episode that is just a Halloween episode, not a Treehouse of Horror, which I feel like every cartoon does a Halloween episode. But what was different about The Simpsons was the Treehouse of Horror was like completely separate from the Simpsons universe. Like nothing is really like nothing runs in a straight line in the Simpsons anyways, but the Treehouse of Horror was even more divorced from continuity.
Yeah, nothing's canon. Like in the regular show, I mean, Flandel's wife dies, and that stays in the show. But I mean, anything can happen in these episodes, and we know it resets at like the 10-minute milk because they move on to the next one.
This is where it all begins, baby.
Yeah, and I will say, for those listening, we're going to try to do one of these at the end of every month, like a little treat, I guess. But also, Andrew, we're going to have to come up with a new name for each other on every episode. So you already got that one. So begin.
It's a pretty good one. I mean, I feel like hell is great. I will say this, though. Did you notice that this episode, they didn't have spooky names?
No, I did not.
Not for the first Treehouse.
Well, it also the title page doesn't say Treehouse of Horror. It says Simpsons Halloween Special.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I did not notice that.
Yeah, the episode itself is called Treehouse of Horror, but like in the opening, when like we go through the Grave Guild, I think.
Yeah.
The text that comes out just says Halloween Special.
I didn't even notice that.
Well, I guess we both didn't notice something today, Andrew.
This is why we need two people who find what we don't notice. Yeah. Okay.
I do not have any of the credits open, but you said you were looking up who wrote what episode.
Yeah. So what segment? So I had a very strong feeling just by the nature of one joke. Bad Dream House was written by John Swartzwelder. So I looked it up.
It was
John Swartzwelder wrote that one.
Was it? Let me guess the joke. Was it the line? Will Milge walks in and the family trying to kill each other, and she says something like, "This family's had many fights, but we've never been in a knife fight before."
Yeah, that was the joke.
Yeah,
but there's there's also one after that feels John Swartzweldian, where it's like the house is talking about all the bad things that are going to happen. It's like, and maybe your brain will start leaking out of your nose and stuff. It's just like it gets more and more absurd. And it's also like there's like a confidence to John Swartzwelder characters that are also unsure of themselves, or like they're unsure of where to go, but they're very, very, they're in a position of power, which is always very funny about Swartzwelder stuff.
I mean, we talked about him a lot on the old Simpsons podcast we used to do. Do you want to give a brief introduction to who John Swartzwelder is and like what we think about him? Because we're pretty big fanboys.
John Swartzwelder wrote more Simpsons episodes than any other Simpsons writer. He started out at a very small magazine, like a Xerox magazine called Army Man, and wrote very, little one-liner jokes in them, little cartoons and stuff. But he basically got picked up to write The Simpsons and really was probably the most defining writer of The Simpsons, besides, Al Jean, Mike Reese, and Conan O'Brien. Short amount of time with Conan O'Brien, but John Swartzwelder probably left the biggest mark of the first 20 years of The Simpsons.
I think the best jokes and the best like type of Simpsons humor that we know as Simpsons humor comes from his writing.
Yeah. And the other crazy thing about John Swartzwelder is like he's there from the beginning. He's in the first season, and you can really see his writing kind of like change and go up. And also he kind of changes the direction of The Simpsons in a weird way in season 8. It's not really topic of conversation for here, but when Grimes is the Grimes episode of season 8, but Homer's an enemy.
Does he
Uh,
refresh my memory about who Grimes is? He's like so he built the power plant all of a sudden, like he's a new
right.
employee.
And he's had
Okay.
a hard life,
Yeah.
like, yeah, and he worked for everything he had, and then he goes to Homer's house. Homer's having lobster dinner. He has all the
Yeah.
photos hanging of himself going to space and doing all this kind of stuff. And Homer's obviously a buffoon. Well, this guy hates Homer, and Homer is just, very blissfully unaware that someone hates him. And part of and it ends up Frank Grimes dies by electrocuting himself in the episode. And it was a very big split between people who had been watching The Simpsons for a long time and probably people like me and Max who grew up on The Simpsons. So we weren't as affected by it because we weren't quite adults when it came out. But they felt it was too mean spirited, right? But it really did change the direction of The Simpsons. Like that season 8 in total was a turning point for The Simpsons. And a lot of people say it declined, but I think there's still a period in which The Simpsons is good, probably up until like the 15th season.
Yeah, I think so too. I was just watching an episode from like the 12th season or something the other day. When I was in England, it was on TV. It was fucking hilarious. It's the episode where Milge realizes she hates Homer.
Yeah.
And it was fucking amazing. It was so funny.
Wait, we talked about that was like the Tim Long one, right? I want to look up Tim Long later, but the episode I watched it after you told me about it, and it was like actually very, very funny.
Yeah.
I think people who hate on The Simpsons, I feel like they're missing out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was last year, maybe. I was watching a new episode that just came out, and there's a line. Well, Mo had something in his mouth. I forget what it is, and then the line he says is like, "I haven't had something that filthy in my mouth since my dad's gun." And it's like The Simpsons. Yes, the consistency of the quality has dropped significantly, but sometimes it still fucking shines.
Right. And I also feel like it's a little bit unfair to judge a show that's this long by little, snippets of bad episodes. The thing about The Simpsons is it's consistently mediocre. Most shows, right after season 9, most shows would kill for the level of mediocrity of The Simpsons because most shows suck, right? A lot of shows just fucking suck, especially comedies. And to be as consistently not trash as The Simpsons is, that's something like it's pretty impressive on its own.
So I guess we should begin talking about this episode.
Yeah.
So it opens up with Milge coming out on a stage, big red kilt and really difficult to forget. Kind of like having fun with how the original Frankenstein movie begins.
Yeah.
She comes out to talk directly to the audience, telling them this is something you've never seen before. Prepare to be spooked.
And she's also warning people like, hey, if you got sensitive kids, how about you spend time tucking them in tonight rather than writing us letters tomorrow, which I thought was pretty fucking hilarious.
If this episode came out today, do you think Milge would have said the phrase SJW?
I don't know. I mean, what are the Simpsons politics today? I feel like the Simpsons are kind of like, I honestly feel like the Simpsons like a libertarian medium, basically.
Do you think that Homer would have voted for Trump or Biden?
I think Homer's probably a non-voter, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like there's a Simpsons episode, does not exist, but there could be. Well, he's responsible for getting Trump elected by mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a Treehouse of Horror. Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down. Is that a episode?
Yeah, so we're cranking Kodos run for president because they're they take over Bill Clinton and Bob Dole's
Jesus
bodies.
Christ. Yeah, I know what you mean now.
Yeah.
I'm really unwell at the moment.
Okay. My face is red. You look like you're dying.
I got a flu shot recently, folks, and I don't know what's in those vaccines, but I don't trust.
I apologize for harassing you to get a flu shot.
Would you rather I did not?
No, I'd rather you did.
What are you apologizing for?
I'm apologizing for your suffering.
No, I've had flu shots before, and I never was affected like this. So I wonder if I'm actually just sick.
Or maybe 5G got to you.
I just got back from England. Who knows what those fucking people have besides bad food?
They're not eating well.
Total not. My shit was black the entire time I was still. It was not good.
What'd you eat? Bacon, right?
Just a bunch of pub food. I don't know how they do it. It's just fucking grease that flows through you like a leaky pipe.
But their fish is good, right? The fried fish and chips.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was the same taste over and over, and I quickly got sick of it.
You had beer. Did you have beer or cider there?
I had no cider. You keep asking me if I've had cider.
They drink cider over there.
I had none of that. And someone also told me that all the alcohol would be like room temp. Lies. It was cold. It was always cold.
I never heard the room temp shit.
I don't know.
But I definitely I've known about the cider.
No one had cider. Every time I sent you guys like a photo of an alcoholic beverage I had, you would say, "Is that cider?" And I would go, "No, it's fucking not."
What can I say, man?
I mean, you manage a fucking bill, and for you not to know what beer looks like, it's really bad.
I mean, that beer looked like cider.
So
light European, very weak.
Maybe it was. I didn't get too drunk at all until the last night, but that's because I had many of them in a row.
Yeah,
but one of them didn't like nothing to me.
Yeah.
So we get that opening, which is pretty iconic, I think.
Yeah.
Do the other Treehouse of Horror episodes have that like cautionary prologue?
I know season 2 does.
Well, we're on season 2.
Season 3. I know season 3, the second Treehouse of Horror does.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how far they keep it. And I also not sure how far they keep the kind of wraparound story. Where this time they're in a treehouse, and in a later episode they're all like passing out candy, and Bart's the guy from Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah. They don't keep it that long, I don't think, because over time they begin cutting so much. I mean, sometimes they don't even have the fucking opening theme song in the regular episodes, which really upsets me.
Yeah. I mean, every episode has to be like 22 minutes or something, but then towards the end, it was basically 21 minutes is all they have now. And that minute, Mike Reese was saying that like that takes a lot of story out. Like a minute in a TV show is a lot.
Something I thought about while rewatching this episode is, I think maybe a difference between the old Simpsons and new Simpsons might be the fact that they had more time, but they had more silence in the older episodes.
Yeah.
Meaning a lot of the humor from this episode comes from like facial reactions and like the expressions.
Yeah.
I don't think you really have that in the new ones. I think it's just talk. But these, you just get to look at them and just reacting.
Yeah. I think there's more of there's a respect for space in older Simpsons, and I do think that the new Simpsons are overwritten. Like this is obviously a joke. This is obviously a delivery, and all Simpsons are like that. But there's more respect for like breathing for these jokes. One of my favorite Simpsons joke is just a pause, and it's like in a clip show. It's in the first Troy McClure clip show, and he shows like the very first episode of The Simpsons on the Tracy Ullman show. And it's not funny at all. And the clip ends, you just see Troy McClure looking confused for like a second, and then he goes, "Ha ha!" It's a great joke, but like, how do you write that joke on paper?
Yeah.
So
I guess we'll now in the generation of mill. If you can fit something else in, fit it in. We need something every single second.
But, I mean, I think that's not really a generational thing. I think that is a marketing thing. Like,
well, I don't mean it as like human being generation. I mean more like television generation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Driven by marketing, but also driven by like the lack of time because you have to have so much more advertisements in every single fucking show.
Yeah.
So
It makes me wonder how the Simpsons would change if it went over to a streaming service only, where you don't have to be consumed about commercials.
yeah, I mean, I feel like those kind of things are probably coming. Like, do you think the Simpsons are ever going to die, or do you think it's be like Mickey Mouse and like Bugs Bunny, where they are this iconic cartoon now that is just everywhere, and it means everything for a while, but it also means nothing.
So the wraparound of this episode is maybe the only Treehouse of Horror that takes place in a treehouse.
I think so.
Yeah, so it's the children just hanging out, telling spooky stories, while Homer is just eavesdropping, and that what made me curious about something. You now have two kids. Do you often eavesdrop on them when they hang out alone?
Though they don't. So the 3-week-old is too young to hang out alone. The 2-year-old though, yeah, we have a little baby monitor when she's sleeping, and every now and then we'll peek at it and she'll be reading to herself or like talking to her imaginary friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how come the youngest one can't hang out alone? A bit of a helicopter feeling, aren't you?
Yeah, totally. The baby just sits on me and stuff and can't even move his head. So
The oldest child, how is she with the Simpsons?
she knows all the Simpsons names because she loves the toys.
Yeah.
She watched this episode with me this morning and seemed to like it. But she's still too young to kind of understand because a lot of the humor is it's so verbal.
Is she not a fan of Edgar Allan Poe?
No, not a fan. Not a fan. You know what?
Neither am I. That's fine.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine to do that in this episode. But at the same time, you look back and think, it's just a little lame.
What if anything, did she react to the most in this episode?
I think she reacts to Homer saying, like dough and stuff.
That's pretty funny.
I think she associates me and Homer pretty alcoholic, absent father.
And plus, you always have a white t-shirt on. That's one thing we all know about you.
Is that true? I do always except for today, but I do wear white t-shirts quite a bit.
You do.
I'm also a very sloppy eater, so it's not the most flattering thing that.
I was thinking Homer Simpson is supposed to be this fucking gluttonous fat slob, but he doesn't have much of a double chin, does he? He kind of has a nice chin.
He's got a good fucking face.
Yeah,
it's just
makes me jealous.
His belly is a problem, but he also, dude, part of the reason for a beard is to kind of hide a weak jaw or a flabby neck.
Yeah,
and I hide it. I hide both with the beard.
I can't grow one. Any tips?
I'll just drink, just to get some ivermectin and some donkey weed.
I don't know what any of that means.
I don't know either. I don't know.
All right. Calm down.
Calm
down.
Calm
the fuck down. Andrew HELLbent. Episode clip 1 is what are they called? They called clips?
Segments. The
first segment is Bad Dream House. Yeah.
I like this one.
It's like a spoof of Poltergeist and Amityville and all those haunted house movies.
Yeah, and I like haunted house movies. I like haunted house stories. What
do you like about them?
I think you and I have a similar thing about being stuck somewhere.
Yeah,
and I think the claustrophobic kind of nature of it is fun, and the fact that the house is talking. It's just one of those things where I can't really I can't like describe exactly what it is, but it's one of those things that I've always dug, always since I was a kid. And how walls bleeding, fucking great.
My whole thing with haunted house movies is no one's ever in a haunted house that's like a shitty house. It's always a nice house.
Yeah, it's a place I'd like to live.
Yeah, I want to see a haunted house movie where it's like just a piece of shit house, but that's all you can afford. Like a fucking shotgun shack.
And here's the thing: is like people probably have been killed in that house.
Which one?
In a tiny
house.
Or there's a lot of dead bodies around. But can I ask you about this? The ancient burial ground.
Yeah, ask me about this. What's wrong with that?
Do you think that the Simpsons could get away with that today?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can.
Yeah. It was like crazy.
Yeah, well, that was the thing in Poultrygeist, right? They will lay down a
Right.
Indian burial ground.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the Simpsons. I'm just talking about spoofing. That's all.
I don't know. They maybe could have, because it's still what they're spoofing.
There's a good visual gag was Crazy Horse and Not So Crazy Horse, like the graves.
Yeah, because to quickly get around them discovering that there's the Indian burial ground, instead of like digging up through the backyard like you would expect, they just open the basement door and then it's just down the steps. And he calls the guy who sold him the house all pissed off. And it turns out Homer was in film of this like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah,
really funny.
I loved him being on the phone and you just like, I've been in those arguments where I realized I was wrong.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I have also, and I usually just pretend like I'm still right.
Hang up. Yeah.
If you discovered you were in a haunted house, like what would you do? Like if you were in this type of haunted house with spooky voices, things were levitating, the walls were bleeding, what would you do?
I'd honestly probably burn it down. Not trying to have sex in the house or anything.
Interesting that those are the first 2 things that came to mind.
No, I don't care how sexy that house is, man.
That house.
Ain't having sex in that
Did
house.
you see how that house is dressed? I don't know, man. I think it might be asking for it. Did you see those shuttles?
Dude, that house is coming on,
Yeah, man. There's the reason they call it a cum guddle. I'll just say that.
Hey, did you call Home Depot and get those cum gutters installed?
Milge yells at the house, which is great, and the house is like, "Oh shit, calm down, lady." Really funny. And the Simpsons say, we're gonna live in this fucking house. You can just deal with it. The house says, "Well, give me a minute," and he gives it some thought and just fucking destroys itself. Great intro to what would become an annual series of Hulu anthologies. A haunted house choosing to commit suicide rather than live with the Simpsons.
Yeah. I think this was the best. I don't know. It's
definitely the best of this episode.
Yeah, I do like Hungry of the Damned, but I remember it more fondly than watching it again.
Me too. I think I laughed maybe once, and that was the dust on the book gag.
I was just gonna say that's the only gag I really remember. The other jokes are kind of easy, like Homer having to go down, when Homer couldn't get picked up by the UFO thing.
Yeah.
And they did another one, which is like, it's funny, but it's also
pretty funny.
It's funny once,
Yeah.
It's funny in your memory.
Yeah. Do you believe in aliens?
Do I believe in it? I believe in the possibility of aliens. I believe alien civilizations are a certainty.
Yeah.
I'm unsure if aliens visiting Earth or living on Earth it is a certainty. Maybe it's inevitable, but I don't know. Space is large, and we haven't had any contact that we know of. I think the more likely thing is there's some kind of interdimensionality kind of thing.
Yeah.
If there's like a alien species or whatever, they're from another dimension or something, or they live underground.
I'm gonna sound really stupid right now, but like with black holes and stuff in the universe, like we don't know exactly what's in them yet, right? Like that's just something we don't know.
I'm pretty sure black holes are just like super mass, like they're super massive, like almost like magnets. They suck everything in and condense everything into this very tiny space. Like I don't know if there's anything on the other side of a black hole. I think it's just like this. I think it's just like this vacuum that just condenses onto like an impossibly small space. So
okay,
it's destroyed, right? I don't know, dude. I'm not a fucking scientist.
I don't know either. But I just like that could be something. I don't know. I don't know if I believe in aliens. I mean, part of me thinks it's selfish to assume that we're the only species, but also feels like we're pretty fucking alone in the universe. So maybe.
I mean, I think we are, for all intents and purposes, we should consider ourselves alone in the universe, because as far as we know, if we're alone, then we are truly fucking some shit up. And the idea that we're not alone makes it seem like, oh, we can just hop to another planet, you know.
I mean, if anything, like the whole aliens come and invade the planet because they've used up all the resources. That seems more logical to be something we do to a different planet one day.
Right. And that's why I think it's stupid to like blast out radio bursts to other civilizations or whatever, because it's like, if we can use ourselves as a template, then we are totally fucked, you know.
I think if anyone's going to discover aliens, it's going to be Elon Musk.
Dude, honestly, every time those guys shoot themselves into space, I hope they die.
Yeah,
That'd be a great spectacle.
Did you think that when the Challenger was going up?
Well, I don't know. Was I alive? When did
I don't know how old you are. 80 something?
I'm 26.
You are not 26.
Oh. No. But the Challenger is different because that was funded by citizens. That was like
1986.
Yeah, I guess I was born. I mean, I was alive, I guess.
Oh, okay. So I thought maybe that was just something you hoped anytime anyone went into space, like I hope they die.
Just I don't hope they die.
Would you go to space?
Would I go to space?
Yeah.
Depends. Like, just depends.
With the government comes up to you and like, hey, you've won. You can take a trip into space on a spaceship and just visit the sites. See a black hole to you.
Yeah, see a black hole, you super dense fucking idiot. Yeah, I would go to space.
I would not.
I think I would. Say, yeah, I get a gun, right? Do I get some rations at least?
Do you think it would be as like space travel, like commercial space travel? Do you think it would be as claustrophobic as like just taking a fucking plane to a different state? Because I don't like that at all.
No, I think it'd be. I think it'd be worse for sure. I think the best benefit of, I think this is the reason why Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are doing this space shit, is because they're trying to get commercial aircraft to go into orbit and then come back down.
Yeah,
a trip to England would take an hour rather than, how long did it take? 10 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you think instead of like a commercial trip to the moon, they would just use space to get to a different country quicker?
Yeah, that's what.
Oh my god, I never
that is
considered that.
The real goal is.
Now, why would that matter? Because all of these countries are laid out on a very flat surface.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay.
The thing is, if you go too far off a straight line, they are going to miss it.
Yeah, they're just going to drop down to whatever little planets below.
Go to
Pluto? I don't know.
Yeah, the flat surface of Mars.
Yeah. I don't know.
So the space thing, why would they go to, what were we talking about?
This is the debut appearance of Kang and Kodos.
It is James Earl Jones.
Yeah, did I get those names right?
I think it's Kang and Kodos, yeah.
Okay.
Or
Krang, maybe. I read some real that to do the voice of the aliens like drooling, he was eating a cookie close to a microphone.
That's great.
Oh yeah.
And he had to record remotely.
Yeah.
He was ahead of this whole COVID stuff.
Yeah, he had COVID back then. That's how he died.
Yeah. Did he die? James Earl Jones is alive.
He is dead as fuck. He's deader than I am because no one blew into his dick hole.
It takes a real special person to get someone to blow in your dick hole. No, dude, he's alive.
That's crazy. How is he still alive? No, this is some Mandela effect shit, okay? Because he definitely died not that long ago.
No, he didn't die.
Well, what is he doing with his life? Oh, he was in the Coming to America 2 sequel.
No, he's alive.
That's pretty shocking. I've been telling everybody he's dead.
You know what? Instead of getting his dick sucked, to be alive. He's getting his dick sucked just for fun.
That's one way to do it. Besides, I also read Mill that every single Treehouse of Horror episode has the two aliens at some point show up. Is that true?
I don't know.
We're gonna have to keep an eye out.
Yeah,
because we're gonna go through them all. Supposedly they show up.
I think in like 2014 or so, they had an episode that was regular season with King and Kodos, and that was a big controversy in Simpsons world. Like they show, like the Simpsons got abducted for real. In the continuity of the show.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a Treehouse episode. But so besides just being in every Halloween episode, which apparently is true, they also have one extra episode in that it's a regular season episode.
That's fucked up. That's pretty
controversial. I'm actually, you can watch all these Simpsons episodes on Disney Plus, which hilariously, they don't censor any of the anti-Disney sentiment that is like prevalent throughout the early Simpsons.
Yeah,
which is nice.
I mean, Itchy and Scratchy is nothing but just anti-Disney shit.
Yeah.
Well, the whole fucking Itchy and Scratchy thing is making fun of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. There's a great in the movie. Are you a fan of the movie, the 2008 movie?
I don't hate it.
I actually think it's pretty good. One reason is John Swartzwelder came out of hiding to basically not hiding, but he came out to help write the movie.
He stepped away from the bush he was behind.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a great scene in the very beginning where it's like Bart has the Mickey Mouse mask and he's just like, I'm the face of a faceless evil corporation, blah blah. It's intact. So say what you will about the House of Mouse. They can take a joke. Do you remember when the 7-Elevens became Simpsons Quickie Marts for a while?
No, because I didn't have 7-Eleven until I grew up.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, 7-Eleven as a promotion for the movie, a couple of them in every state became Quickie Marts, and they sold Buzz Cola.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When the movie was coming out?
Yeah, when the movie was coming out. This is my drinking glass.
So for those who can't see, which is everybody, Andrew is holding up a Duff glass. Yeah. What's in that glass? Vodka?
Water.
Straight vodka.
I already had beer.
Yeah, I've had coffee tonight.
Yeah.
As Phil is the alien episode, there's much to talk about. I mean, we're not walking through these scene bit by bit.
No,
that's not fun. I mean, it kind of plays off of the whole Hansel and Gretel thing too, right? I mean, a strange entity is making these people eat with the intention of possibly eating them, except no, that's not what's happening. It's also riffing off of a Twilight Zone episode. I can't think of the title, but it has a similar plot. Yeah,
man. That's a pretty good Twilight. I mean, I like Twilight Zone. Yeah. Are you a fan of Twilight Zone?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, yeah, that one is actually like a memorable one too.
My ringtone, my wake up alarm notification is the Twilight Zone theme song. Let me tell you something. It's fucking terrifying. I wake up every day afraid. It's really loud. I don't like it. I don't recommend doing it. So the last segment is The Raven, which I'm pretty positive is the exact text, right? Like they don't change.
It's the exact text. The only things that are changed are Homer reactions.
Yeah, and the dialogue from the kids in the treehouse, like interrupting once in a while.
Right. But otherwise, it is exactly the same as a Raven. I think it's a cool idea,
Yeah.
But also, like, okay, it feels like a teaching tool rather than like comedy.
Yeah, I don't think I laughed once, but I do have to say it's a pretty good example. Maybe not example, but like it's good evidence of how talented who voices Homer, Dan, what's his last name?
Dan Castellanos or
it's a testament of how strong he is as a voice actor, that he is able to get into the voice of Homer and make him just reciting this old poem without changing the text and make it funny still, because like his dialogue is from the poem, and it's really amusing the way he says it as Hummel.
Yeah, it's true. It's Dan Castellaneta.
Yeah,
It's a very hard name to say.
I don't like it. We should change it.
But no, you're right. The delivery, it's Edgar Allan Poe's words 100%. The delivery makes the poem. And I think so. My dad was a teacher for a while, and they were doing poems. So he did The Raven, and he had the kids read The Raven. And if you're a kid, you're like 7th grade, it is boring. You don't know what the fuck they're saying. There's a lot of like antiquated words. But then he showed them the Raven Simpsons thing.
Yeah.
And even though these kids aren't Simpsons generation kids,
yeah,
it was helpful for them to learn what, context. And the context isn't like, it's just easy. It's nice to have a visual along with great delivery to make things, and to make things worth understanding. Because sometimes reading text out of a book for kids, not always the best. But that's why I think of this more as a teaching thing than actual comedy. It's still good.
It's like when we get to see what a bust of Palace, is that the thing's name? About the thing the Raven is pilched on.
Yeah.
Palace, I think, is the name. Like, I wouldn't know what that meant if I was just reading that in some fucking school. But then you see it and you realize, oh, it's a statue of some fucking thing's head. That makes a lot of sense.
There was another word in there where they had like the image in there. I was like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, I kind of think maybe they should have just released like a thing of educational videos from school.
Yeah.
Did the Simpsons ever do another like copyright free public domain type of segment like they did The Raven?
I don't think so, because I was actually reading a little about that in particular, and Matt Groening said he hated it.
Yeah,
Matt Groening said it was very pretentious of him, which I can't disagree with him. He's correct.
Yeah,
but it's not like, the funny thing about this whole first thing is like very much obviously the first effort. It's still good, but you can tell they hit their stride later. And with all Simpsons episodes, they're all good. The first season's all good. It's not hilarious. Season 2 is getting better. By the time they hit season 3 overall, they start really, really firing on all cylinders. And that's with Treehouse of Horror too.
It's worth noting as well for those listening that might be confused. The debut episode of the Treehouse of Horror didn't happen until season 2 of The Simpsons. It was like the filled episode of season 2.
And why is that?
I don't know, didn't think about it until then.
No, the first episode of the first season was the Christmas episode.
Okay. So they couldn't do a Halloween episode as well?
No, because Christmas comes after Halloween.
In what religion?
I'm sorry, what religion are you? I worship the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
I guess I am not thinking how long a season of television lasts. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, how long is a season? It's like 5 months, right? I mean, back in those days, it was like 28 episodes.
I have no idea.
It's like 4 months.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me that was why. I just figured they just didn't think about it until then. And season 2 hit, and they were like, oh shit, we should be doing this.
Yeah. That book you got me years ago for my birthday, the Mike Reese one.
Yeah.
Springfield Confidential.
Yeah.
They talk about the first season of Treehouse of Horror. They talk about why. I mean, he specifically mentions why it wasn't in the first episode, the first season, because he weirdly gets that question a lot. But one aspect is that some people didn't want to ever do those episodes, which is a goddamn shame, because those are literally the best episodes of almost every season.
Hopefully, that wasn't John Swartzwelder who didn't want to do them.
No, I don't think he was one of them. I mean, it also seems to really play to his strengths, which are like fast delivery, parody, kind of stuff.
Off the top of your head, which Treehouse of Horror is your favorite?
Man.
Let's say not episode, but segment.
Segment. Well, let me just look at a list of segments and
No, that's cheating.
No, it's not cheat. All right, well then fine. I really like the shinning.
Me too.
Yeah.
I would have said that one or the I don't know what it's called, but the Nightmare on Elm Street spoof will fucking Groundskeeper Willie is Freddy Krueger.
I like that one.
That's a great one.
These are both Groundskeeper Willie.
He's not in the shinning one that often. I mean, he plays the the groundskeeper, I guess. But yeah, he's always a good time when they throw him into an episode.
Yeah,
Treehouse of Horror or just regular episode. He's a good one, and they play him well. They know not to do too much.
Yeah. So now, if you look at the list, what's your favorite?
You want me to go find a list?
I'll send you a list right now.
Okay.
The monkey's paw is actually really funny.
Remind me what that one's like.
No, wait,
we'll get to it. We'll get to it next month.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a lot of these episodes are not ringing a bell. I'm not seeing which one it is, but I just remembered I'm a big fan of the Evil Twin episode.
Oh, that's a great one.
Oh yeah,
that's a Hugo.
I think we'll enjoy a fun time, man.
Yeah, this is fun. Yeah,
these are always my favorite episodes.
Yeah, this is weirdly just the thing about Treehouse of Horror for me is it was actually kind of my entry into horror as a kid. So it's like,
yeah,
so that's why Treehouse of Horror, those episodes are always very special to me, no matter what. If I didn't know what they were spoofing, I'd find out from one of my cousins, and then we'd go watch it. You know what I mean? But they also stand alone. You don't have to know everything to get these things.
So I'm scrolling through the list, and it kind of goes into what I was saying at the beginning of the episode. But later on, they stopped spoofing horror movies, because if you look, like, okay, this is one where they spoof Avatar, Back to the Future, The Cat in the Hat, Godzilla, The Hunger Games, Mad Max, Kingsman, The Secret Service. Why is that an episode of Treehouse of Horror?
Yeah.
Fucking Toy Story and Spider-Man and Russian Doll. None of those are in the horror genre. That's where they lost it, man.
Avatar.
Yeah. I don't know. So this is going to be a series of episodes where we begin by having a great time. But as we continue getting deeper into these, we're just going to be not feeling too great. I hope your head gets even redder as each episode progresses.
What is
until you just, I don't know, you will really red. I assume you have some type of fungi infection. I don't know.
We'll see. If I'm dead tomorrow.
Yeah.
Blow on it.
Well, yeah. I will not do that. I did for you. But I am undead, and I don't have the capability of blowing anymore. I can't even laugh like I used to. I would end these episodes, I would do the transitions with a spooky laugh. I can't do it now. I lost that.
Well, what I got blowing to give you back that ability?
I don't know, man.
Maybe maybe a lick will take.
I don't know. I don't think we should do that. That sounds inappropriate.
We can do it later. We'll explore later. All
right. Let's wrap this up. So after that segment, we go back to the treehouse, and no one seems phased, and they go to bed. But Homer is fucking terrified, and he goes to his bed with Marge, and he begs her to leave the lights on, but she calls him like a pussy basically and shuts it off. In the end, pretty good. Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
The beginning of a great tradition.
A TV institution.
Yeah.
I mean, tomorrow's a Sunday. There's gonna be there should be, right? Oh no, because the game
it already came on.
It did?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I think it a spoofed Parasite. I have seen it. Never mind. It did spoof Parasite. It was not good.
That's last year. No, it is this year.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I didn't like it. The whole episode sucked.
Damn.
It came out like a fucking month ago. They do it like in September now. I don't know why.
Because baseball World Series
Fucking baseball, man.
sucks.
I'm sick of this baseball shit.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
They spoofed Bambi in this latest one.
Yeah, that's right. It was terrible.
Okay. Well, not looking forward to those.
Don't watch it. I mean, you will watch it regardless because of this show. I mean, how many? If we do this once a month, when are we going to be done?
In 8 months.
In 8 months? There's only 8 episodes.
8.5 months.
What are you talking about?
Oh wait, no. Oops.
The fuck is wrong with you?
I was thinking weekly.
We're not doing this weekly.
No. No. I wouldn't. Yeah, 34. Yeah, it's a long time.
Like 2.5 yields.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And plus every other yield is going to be a new one added to it.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll
We'll see if the podcast Ghoulish lasts that long. B, this friendship lasts that long. I mean,
We'll see.
I've never been in a friendship that lasted always. So eventually we're going to stop talking.
No, I think we'll still be friends. We'll be friendly. I revived you.
You did revive me, and then I got sick. Maybe that's why I'm sick. Maybe the dead shouldn't get a vaccine. Nope.
You know what? Talk to your doctor.
Yeah, I mean, I should have told the guy at CVS I was undead before he plugged me with a needle.
Just ask him, is my heart healthy enough for this?
He did not check if I was breathing. He just stabbed me and said, go ahead. I said, should I wait a couple minutes to see if anything happens? He was like, no, why would you do that? And I went, I don't know. It sounds like something that should happen. I'm
pretty sure they do. Well, I guess a COVID vaccine, but you don't. Are you gonna get a third shot?
Yes, but it's not time for me yet, I don't think. And it hasn't been 6 months.
I have no fucking idea.
I think you have to wait 6 months.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see.
Maybe.
All right.
I still need to get my second shot.
What? Really? No, because you wouldn't have been able to go to fucking Europe, right?
That's right, baby. I'm joking for the sake of
I don't like
getting on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Ever. I don't like any Joe.
That's gonna help us with this episode and ongoing episodes. So how do we end this? We know how to begin it by saying spooky names.
Dude, just what you should do is just invert the theme song.
Yeah.
Play it backwards.
I might be able just to steal the spooky Simpsons credits. Might get flagged for copyright reasons though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to do promotional stuff?
Promotional stuff?
Yeah, do you want to plug anything? Then you have a book coming out?
Yeah. Got still waiting on my shipment. But Inner Space, I just put out a book called Inner Space. You can buy it on Amazon right now. And it'll probably get to you quicker than a book if you order from my website. So there it is.
Wouldn't it be signed? So wouldn't
be signed.
What's the website?
Buy from my website. It'll be signed. It'll have an extra doodle or something, and maybe a little extra love. You know, maybe I'll give the envelope a kiss. You know.
And what is the website they should go to?
5gkilledgod.com.
And also Pope Fight.
Also popefight.com. They both.
Any other interesting website names?
I think I do, but I don't remember. Those are the two I use the most.
Every episode, you have to give us a new website name, so you're gonna go bankrupt within a couple months.
First one's 5G Killed God. Next month, I'll tell you the next one.
It's Pope Fight.
Well, yeah, but let's sell them later.
I'm not removing this in the episode.
I know. I think it's funny to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll see if the audience agrees.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah. I guess because I'm not going to do a separate outro. Go buy books that I put out at perpetualpublishing.com. Leave a review of the podcast on iTunes. Subscribe to my weekly newsletter, The Ghoulish Times. .substack.com. That's it. Goodbye. What?
Ghoulish Book Fest.
What about it?
Tell everyone to start making plans. Book their trips to San Antonio.
San Antonio, get your flu shot, because guess what, baby? we're doing a local fest in San Antonio called the Ghoulish Book Fest. Go to ghoulishbookfest.com for more details and how to get a badge. Ooh.